Introduction, breaking free from mental chains. Every single one of us is born with limitless potential. But somewhere along the way, we get trapped. Not by physical barriers, not by the world outside, but by something far more dangerous, our own minds. The thoughts we entertain, the beliefs we accept, and the fears we refuse to confront become the chains that hold us back. And if we don't break free, we stay stuck in a cycle of self-doubt, hesitation, and wasted potential. But today that changes. Today we expose those invisible chains for what they really are, illusions. Today we reclaim control, rewrite our story, and build a mind so strong that no obstacle, no setback, and no fear can shake it. Because your mind is either your greatest weapon or your worst enemy, and the choice is yours. One, your mind, weapon or prison. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really questioned the thoughts running through your head? The truth is, your mind is always talking to you. It can be your greatest coach, or it can be your worst critic. And if you don't take control of that conversation, it will take control of you. Think about it. The same mind that can push you to achieve your dreams can also convince you that you're not good enough. The same brain that can find solutions can also create endless excuses. Your mind is either a powerful weapon that sharpens you, or it's a prison that locks you in. And the difference is how you choose to train it. 2, the cost of mental weakness. What you tolerate becomes your reality. Weak thoughts lead to weak actions. Weak actions lead to a weak life. And here's the harsh truth. Whatever you tolerate in your mind, you accept in your life. If you tolerate fear, you live in fear. If you tolerate laziness, you live below your potential. If you tolerate self-doubt, you never take the shot. Look around. Every person who has settled for less in life at some point made a decision to tolerate weakness in their mind. They let their doubts control them. They let their fears dictate their actions. But the successful ones, the ones who build greatness, they refuse to let weak thoughts take root. They don't entertain negativity. They don't tolerate excuses. They set a higher standard. And that's exactly what you need to do. 3, who's really in control? You or your thoughts? Let me tell you something, your thoughts are not facts. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it's true. But too many people believe every fear, every doubt, every negative thought as if it's written in stone. But who's really in control here? You or the thoughts in your head? Because the moment you let your thoughts dictate your reality, you become a slave to them. And when that happens, you lose the ability to choose your own destinies. Winners don't let their minds run on autopilot. They decide which thoughts deserve attention and which ones need to be crushed. They challenge their own doubts. They question their own fears. They take back control. And if you want to change your life, that's exactly what you need to start doing right now. 4, the silent war inside your head and how to win it there. And the only war is excited going to win. If you let fear take over, 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 and that enemy's relentless, it feeds on hesitation. It grows stronger every time you procrastinate, every time you back down, every time you say, maybe tomorrow. But here's the good news. You can win this war. You win it by taking action in spite of fear. You win it by refusing to entertain weak thoughts. You win it by training your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems. You win it by showing up every single day with the mindset of a warrior. The mission, take back control and build an unshakable mind. So here's the mission. Starting today, you stop letting your thoughts control you. You stop making excuses. You stop feeding the enemy in your head. And instead, you take command. Because the truth is, mental strength is not something you're born with. It's something you build. It's a skill. And like any skill, it takes training, repetition, and discipline. You don't become mentally strong by accident. You become mentally strong by choice, by practice, by showing up every day and making the right decisions even when they're hard. From this moment on, you decide what kind of mind you are going to build. You decide whether you're going to be a prisoner of your own thoughts or the master of your destiny. And if you choose strength, if you choose discipline, if you choose to take control, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. This is your time. Your mind is your greatest asset. Train it, master it, and watch how your entire world transforms. Section 1, the truth about your mind 1. Your thoughts are the blueprint of your life. Every building starts with a blueprint. Before a single brick is laid, the structure already exists in the architect's mind. Your life works the same way. Your thoughts are the blueprint, the design that dictates what you build in reality. If your mind is filled with doubt, hesitation, and negativity, that's exactly what you'll construct in your life. But if you think in terms of strength, opportunity, and relentless belief, your reality will reflect that. The problem is most people let their blueprint be shaped by circumstances rather than their own vision. They allow fear, past failures, and external noise to dictate what's possible. But here's the truth, your thoughts are not just fleeting words in your head. They are the foundation of everything you will achieve or fail to achieve. Change your thoughts and you change your future. 2, what you think, you become. The science behind mental conditioning. This isn't just motivational talk, science backs it up. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on what you focus on. Neuroscientists call it neuroplasticity. Every thought you have strengthens certain neural pathways, making them easier to access. If you repeatedly tell yourself you're not good enough, your brain accepts it as fact. If you say you're unstoppable, your brain starts believing that too. This is why elite athletes, top performers, and the world's most successful people train their minds as much as their bodies. They understand that mental conditioning is just as important as physical preparation. The question is, what are you conditioning yourself for? Success or failure? Strength or weakness? You are the sculptor of your own mind. Choose wisely what you carve into it. 3. You training for strength or weakness? Every day you're training your mind. Whether you realize it or not, the problem is most people are training for weakness. They let excuses, distractions, and negative self-talk dominate their thinking. They reinforce limitations instead of breaking them. Think about it. When life hits you with setbacks, do you train yourself to rise or retreat? Do you train yourself to see problems or possibilities? The strongest people weren't born that way. They trained themselves to be mentally tough. They built resilience through repetition, just like a muscle. When you train for strength, setbacks don't break you, they shape you. When you train for weakness, even the smallest obstacle feels impossible. The difference is in your daily choices. Are you strengthening your mind or are you feeding its weakness? For the garden of your mind, are you growing power or planting weeds? Your mind is like a garden. Every thought you have is a seed. Plant doubt and you grow fear. Plant excuses and you grow stagnation. But plant discipline, confidence, and belief and you grow success. The problem is, most people don't even realize what they're planting. They allow negative influences, news, toxic people, limiting beliefs to scatter weeds all over their garden. Then they wonder why their life isn't flourishing. The truth is, you can't expect a powerful life with a neglected mind. You have to be intentional. You have to pull out the weeds, remove the negativity, and plant seeds of growth every single day. Read things that inspire you. Listen to words that empower you. Speak to yourself like a champion. Because whatever you nurture in your mind, that's exactly what will grow in your life. 5, recognizing the enemy, fear, doubt, and the silent killers of success. Fear and doubt are like thieves in the night. They don't announce themselves. They creep in silently, stealing your potential before you even realize what's happening. They disguise themselves as realistic thinking or caution, but their true purpose is to keep you small. Fear whispers, you're not ready. Doubt says, what if you fail? And if you listen, they win. They rob you of opportunities, of growth, of the life you were meant to live. But here's the truth. Fear and doubt only have power if you give it to them. Every successful person felt fear. Every champion battled doubt. The difference? They pushed forward anyway. They saw fear as a sign of growth, not a stop sign. They understood that the only way to silence doubt is with action. So the next time fear tries to hold you back, ask yourself, who's in control? You or the enemy in your mind? 1, the default setting of your mind, weakness and excuses. Your mind is not naturally wired for success, it's wired for survival. And survival means avoiding effort, dodging discomfort, and clinging to the easiest way out. That's why most people don't change. They tell themselves stories, excuses wrapped in logic that justify inaction. I'm too tired, I don't have time. It's not the right moment. Sound familiar? These are not reasons. These are defense mechanisms designed to protect you from discomfort. Your default setting is weakness, and if you don't reprogram it, it will run your life on autopilot. You will watch opportunities slip by while telling yourself it wasn't meant to be. But deep down, you know the truth. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is your own willingness to push past the default and take control. 2, comfort versus growth. While your brain tricks you into staying stuck. Your brain's primary job is not to make you successful, it's to keep you safe. That means it will do everything in its power to keep you inside your comfort zone, because comfort equals survival. But here's the problem. Survival isn't the same as living. The moment you try to step outside your comfort zone, your brain starts screaming. What if you fail? What if people judge you? What if it's too hard? This is not truth. It's fear dressed as logic. And if you listen to it, you stay exactly where you are. Comfort is a slow poison. It keeps you numb, trapped in a cycle of routine and mediocrity. Growth, on the other hand, demands discomfort. It requires you to push through fear, to embrace uncertainty, to keep moving even when everything inside you says stop. The question is, do you want to feel comfortable now and regret it later, or struggle now and reap the rewards for life? 3, the pleasure trap. How avoiding pain leads to a life of regret. We live in a world designed to keep you weak. Everything around you is engineered for instant gratification. Fast food, endless entertainment, quick dopamine hits from social media. It all gives you the illusion of satisfaction while stealing your future. When you avoid pain, you sign up for long-term suffering. Skipping the gym feels good today, but what about when your body breaks down? Procrastinating on your goals brings relief in the moment, but what about when years pass and you're still in the same place? Pain is not your enemy. Pain is the price of transformation. It's the currency of success. You don't avoid pain, you choose where to place it. You can suffer the temporary pain of discipline, or you can suffer the permanent pain of regret. And regret is far heavier than any struggle you will ever face. 4, what happens when you refuse to take control? If you don't control your mind, someone else will. If you don't control your habits, they will control you. If you don't take control of your future, life will decide for you, and you won't like the outcome. Look around. How many people are stuck in jobs they hate, relationships they settled for, bodies they neglected? That's what happens when you let life happen to you instead of taking the wheel. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to break free. Every day you delay, you reinforce the chains. Every excuse you make, you sink deeper into a life of mediocrity. You have 2 choices. Continue down the road of least resistance, or step up, take responsibility, and start fighting for the life you actually want. 5, the hard truth. Weak minds seek shortcuts. Strong minds build resilience. Weak people chase shortcuts. They want the success without the struggle, the reward without the work. That's why they buy into overnight success stories, magic pills, and get-rich-quick schemes. But here's the truth, there is no shortcut to greatness. Every successful person you admire, they paid the price. They showed up when they didn't feel like it. They pushed through failure after failure. They embraced the grind when no one was watching. Weak minds quit when it gets tough. Strong minds dig in deeper. Weak minds look for excuses. Strong minds look for solutions. Weak minds give up when they hit a wall. Strong minds break through it. Which one are you going to be? Because in the end, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. And if you want to change your life, you have to start by changing yourself. No more excuses, no more shortcuts, no more waiting. It's time to take control. Because the moment you take back that power, nothing can stop you. Let me tell you something. Waiting is the biggest lie you've ever believed. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start when the timing's right, or I'll take action when I feel ready? Guess what? That perfect moment, it doesn't exist. It's an illusion. Waiting is just fear in disguise. It's comfort pretending to be logic. It's you convincing yourself that you need more time when deep down you already know what needs to be done. Every person who has ever changed their life, every entrepreneur, every athlete, every leader has one thing in common. They didn't wait. They made a decision, a real decision. One where they said, enough, no more excuses, no more hesitation. It's time. Because control doesn't start with resources. It doesn't start with luck. It starts with a choice. A moment where you decide right now that you will no longer be a passenger in your own life. So ask yourself, how much longer are you willing to wait? Another month? Another year? Another decade? Or will today be the day you finally take control? The choice is yours. But understand this, your future begins the moment you decide to stop waiting. Think about this, how many of your thoughts are actually yours? How many of your daily decisions, your reactions, your beliefs have been shaped not by you, but by years of conditioning, society, your environment, the people around you? They've all been feeding you a script since the day you were born. And most of us, we never question it. We just follow along, running on autopilot. You wake up, scroll through your phone, react to the same stress, repeat the same habits, and tell yourself the same old stories. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'll start tomorrow. These thoughts aren't random. They're programmed, and if you don't rewrite that program, you'll live the same life over and over again, just like a broken record. But here's the truth. You are not your past. You are not the mistakes, the failures, or the doubts that have been drilled into your mind. Whatever you plant grows. If you let negativity, doubt, and fear take root, that's exactly what will fill your life. But if you plant discipline, confidence, and purpose, you'll see a different reality. That's the power of intentional habits. Most people wait for motivation. They wait for the right moment, the perfect circumstances. And that's why they stay stuck. Because motivation is unreliable. It fades. What you need is a system, daily rituals that shape your mind regardless of how you feel. Look at the most successful people in any field. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists. They don't just wing it. They follow routines that prime them for success, morning affirmations, daily exercise, reading, practicing gratitude, visualizing their goals. These aren't random actions, they are deliberate programs, rewiring the mind for success. You don't need a complete life overhaul overnight. Start small. Wake up and take control of your first hour. Set your intentions. Feed your mind with something powerful. Take action before doubt creeps in. Do it every day, and soon your habits will shape your reality. Because the secret to changing your life, it's hidden in your daily routine. 400. You want to know the difference between the great and the average? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's repetition. The great ones show up every single day, whether they feel like it or not. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. Look at the world's best athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs. Kobe Bryant took thousands of shots before the sun even came up. Jiro Ono, one of the greatest sushi chefs, spent decades perfecting a single technique. They didn't just practice when it was convenient. They did it every day until excellence became second nature. Because strength isn't built in a day. It's built in the grind, in the small, seemingly insignificant actions you take daily. Every workout, every book you read, every challenge you push through, it all adds up. But most people quit before they see results. They expect instant success, and when it doesn't come, they walk away. Don't be most people. Stay in the fight. Keep showing up. Because every time you do, you're building something bigger than success. You're building unshakable strength. And when the world tests you, you'll be ready. Not because you hoped for it, but because you trained for it. 4-0. Your mind is just like your body. If you don't train it, it weakens. If you don't push it, it atrophies. And if you don't feed it the right things, it gets sluggish, unfocused, and full of doubt. Think about it. If you went to the gym once a month, would you expect to get stronger? No. So why do so many people expect mental strength without putting in the reps? Why do they hope for confidence, resilience, and discipline, but never train for it? The strongest minds aren't born, they're built through challenges, through discipline, through daily mental workouts. Reading, problem solving, meditation, visualization. These are your mental push-ups, your squats, your endurance training. And just like in the gym, results don't happen overnight. They come from consistency. Look at the most mentally tough people in the world, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. They don't let fear or failure define them. They train their minds to push through, to adapt, to grow. Because here's the truth. If you don't train your mind, the world will do it for you. And it will train you to settle, to doubt yourself, to play small. So the question is, are you going to take control, or are you going to let life control you? 400 weakness doesn't just show up one day and take over your life. It creeps in quietly, slowly, through habits, thoughts, and influences you don't even notice. Let me tell you something. Your greatest enemy is not lack of talent, intelligence, or opportunity. It's the small things that drain your strength without you realizing it. the endless scrolling that steals your time, the negative self-talk that poisons your confidence, the people who tell you, take it easy, when you should be pushing harder. If you're struggling to stay disciplined, to stay focused, ask yourself, what's triggering my weakness? Maybe it's the junk food in your house that tempts you to break your diet. Maybe it's the late night distractions that keep you from waking up early. Maybe it's a so-called friend who always plants doubt in your mind. Whatever it is, cut it off. Because if you don't, it will control you. And every time you give in, you reinforce the habit of quitting. Successful people aren't superhuman. They just eliminate the things that sabotage their progress. They design their environment for strength, not weakness. So if you want to win, don't just rely on willpower. Remove the triggers. Make success the only option. 400. Most people want success. Most people want discipline. Most people want strength. But let me tell you the truth. Most people will never have it. Why? Because discipline isn't easy. Because the hard road is uncomfortable. Because when it comes time to choose between what's easy and what's right, most people choose easy. Look around you. How many people say they want to be in shape but skip workouts? How many dream of success but waste their days on distractions? How many talk about changing their lives but refuse to change their habits? Most people won't sacrifice, most people won't suffer, and that's why most people lose. But here's what you need to understand. The hard road is the only road. It's the one that forces you to grow, to sharpen your mind, to build the discipline that separates winners from quitters. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's exhausting, but guess what? That pain is temporary. The power you gain from it, that lasts forever. So the next time you're faced with a choice, the easy way or the hard way, remember this. The hard way is where your strength is built. The hard way is where your future is created. The hard way is what will make you unstoppable. 4-0, let me tell you something. Mental toughness isn't a gift. You weren't born with it. It's not in your DNA. It's built. One thought, one choice, one moment at a time. Your mind is like a muscle. If you don't train it, it stays weak. If you feed it negativity, it crumbles under pressure. But if you push it, if you challenge it, if you force it to grow, it becomes unbreakable. Think about the toughest people in history. Athletes, leaders, warriors. Were they just born that way? No. They built their mindset through struggle, through setbacks, through days when they wanted to quit but didn't. So how do you condition your mind for strength? Simple. Control your thoughts. When fear creeps in, shut it down. When doubt whispers, answer back with action. When pain tells you to stop, remind yourself why you started. Every time you choose discipline over weakness, you forge mental armor. Every time you push past discomfort, you take one more step toward an unshakable mind. Because in the end, strength isn't about what you can lift. It's about what you can endure. And those who master their minds, they master everything. What if I told you that fear isn't real, that doubt is just a story you've told yourself so many times you started believing it? Now imagine a life where fear no longer holds you back. A life where you don't hesitate, where you don't overthink, where you don't let that little voice in your head talk you out of greatness. What would you do differently? Would you chase that dream? Would you take that risk? Would you finally step into the person you were meant to be? Because here's the truth. Fear only has power when you give it power. Negative thoughts only control you when you let them. The moment you stop entertaining them, they start to disappear. Think of the greatest people in history. Do you think they were fearless? No. They had doubts, they had fears, but they acted anyway. The only difference between them and the people who never make it, they master their minds. When you take control of your thoughts, fear has no choice but to back down. Doubt loses its grip. And suddenly you realize you were never actually trapped. The door was open the whole time. 400. Most people hear the word discipline and think of restrictions, rules, and sacrifice. They think it's about giving up freedom. But let me tell you something. Discipline is not a cage. It's the key that unlocks everything you've ever wanted. You want freedom? Freedom from stress, from regret, from wasted potential. Then discipline is your answer. Because when you live without discipline, you're not free. You're trapped. Trapped in bad habits, trapped in procrastination, trapped in a cycle of starting and stopping, always wishing for more but never putting in the work to get there. Look at the most successful people in the world. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, they don't rely on motivation. They don't wait until they feel like it. They show up every single day, no matter what. That is discipline. And that is why they win. Because here's the truth. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's pushing past excuses. It's taking control of your actions instead of letting your emotions control you. You can either choose discipline now or you can choose regret later. But one thing is certain, you will make a choice. 400. Let me tell you something. No one makes you feel anything. No one controls your emotions. You do. You allow it. Think about it. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Someone says something disrespectful. Someone doubts you. And what happens? You get angry, frustrated. You let their actions dictate your emotions, your energy, your entire day. But here's the truth. Your emotions don't come from them. They come from you. They come from the meaning you give to the situation. And that means you have a choice. Because emotions are like a storm. If you let them control you, they'll toss you around like a leaf in the wind. But if you master them, you become unshakable. Look at the most powerful, successful people in the world. They don't waste time reacting. They respond. They control their focus. They don't let anger, fear, or doubt make decisions for them. So ask yourself, who's in charge? You or your emotions? The moment you take ownership of your feelings, you take back your power. And when you control your mind, nothing can control you. 4-0, your mind is the command center of your life. Every action you take, every goal you chase, every challenge you face, it all starts with what you believe. Because belief is everything. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll act like you're not good enough. If you believe success is out of reach, you won't even try. If you believe you can't change, you'll stay exactly where you are. But let me ask you this. Who put those limits in your mind? Who told you that you can't? Who convinced you that you're not capable? Most of the time, it wasn't reality, it was fear. It was doubt. It was years of hearing the wrong voices, including your own. And if you let those beliefs control you, they will define you. The truth is, you weren't born with limits. You learned them. And if you can learn them, you can unlearn them. You can rewrite the script in your mind. You can choose a new belief system. One that says, I can, I will, watch me. Because the moment you believe in yourself, the game changes. And if you don't, you've already lost. 4-0. What separates the elite from the average? What makes some people rise while others stay stuck? It's not luck, it's not talent, it's not even intelligence. It's action. See, everyone feels fear. The winners, they act anyway. The rest, they let fear decide for them. And that's the difference. Fear whispers, what if I fail? Winners say, what if I don't even try? Fear says, you're not ready. Winners say, I'll figure it out as I go. Fear waits for the right time. Winners know the right time is now. Think about the people who inspire you. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, creators. Every single one of them has faced moments of doubt. But they didn't let fear have the final say. They didn't sit around waiting for confidence to magically appear. They moved. They made decisions. They took risks. And that's what separates them. So ask yourself, are you letting fear run your life? Or are you ready to take control? Because the truth is, you don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing to take the first step. Winners do. Everyone else, they spend their lives wondering what could have been. 4-0. You don't wake up one day with an unshakable mindset. You don't just decide to be mentally tough and suddenly become unstoppable. No. Mental domination is built day by day, habit by habit, choice by choice. The strongest minds weren't born that way, they were forged. Through discipline, through struggle, through intentional action every single day. Let me ask you, how do you start your mornings? Do you wake up with purpose, or do you hit snooze and let the day control you? Do you feed your mind with power, or do you scroll through distractions? Every action is a vote for the person you're becoming. The most successful people have non-negotiable habits that build their mindset. They don't wait for motivation, they don't rely on feelings, they do it anyway. They move their bodies because they know a strong body builds a strong mind. They control their thoughts because they understand that negativity is poison. They embrace challenges because they know pressure creates diamonds. And most importantly, they show up even when they're tired, even when they don't feel like it. So ask yourself, are your daily habits making you stronger, or are they making you weaker? Because mental toughness isn't a switch you flip, it's a muscle you build. 4-0 growth doesn't happen in comfort. Strength isn't built when things are easy. You grow when you fight, when you struggle, when you push through resistance. Think about it. How does a muscle grow? You lift heavier, you push harder, you tear the fibers so they rebuild even stronger. Your mind works the same way. Every time you face resistance, whether it's fear, doubt, failure, you have two choices, back down or rise up. Most people avoid struggle, they see obstacles and turn around. But winners, they lean in. They see resistance as proof that they're on the right path. Because every challenge is an opportunity, every hardship is a lesson, and every setback is a setup for a comeback. The difference between the weak and the strong is a mindset shift. The realization that struggle isn't punishment, it's preparation. The hard times aren't here to stop you, they're here to forge you. So the next time you feel resistance, when life gets hard, when doubt creeps in, when the weight feels too heavy, remember, this is the moment you grow. Challenge it. Resist the urge to quit. Dominate it every single day. 400. Let me tell you something. Right now, in this very moment, you have a choice. A choice that will define your future. Either you take control of your mind, or your mind takes control of you. There is no middle ground. Most people live as prisoners to their own thoughts. They let fear dictate their actions. They let doubt hold them back. They wait. Wait for motivation, for the right moment, for someone to come and pull them out of their struggles. But let me be brutally honest with you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you. No one is going to hand you discipline, confidence, or success. If you don't control your focus, distractions will. If you don't control your emotions, they will control you. If you don't take ownership of your life, someone else will. And if you allow that, you will live on your knees, blaming everything but yourself for where you are. So what's it going to be? Are you the master of your mind or its prisoner? Decide now. Because every day you delay, you give up another piece of your potential. And trust me, that is a price you do not want to pay. 4-0 excuses are easy. They let you off the hook. They give you a reason to stay exactly where you are. But let me tell you something. Weakness is a habit, just like strength. And every time you choose comfort over growth, you reinforce that habit. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you are training yourself to quit before you even begin. Think about the strongest, most disciplined people you admire. Do you think they were just born that way? No. They built themselves, brick by brick, day by day, by making choices that most people won't make, by taking action even when they didn't feel like it. That's the only thing that separates those who rise from those who stay stuck. Not dreams, not motivation, action. Because motivation fades, inspiration comes and goes, but action creates real change. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Stop telling yourself you're not ready. You'll never be ready. The only way to get ready is to start. Right now, not tomorrow, not later, now. Because every second you wait is a second you'll never get back. 400. Everything starts in your mind, every victory, every failure, every breakthrough, every excuse, it all begins with a single thought. And here's the truth. Your thoughts are shaping your future right now. You don't just wake up one day successful, disciplined, or unstoppable. No, it starts with the way you think, because your thoughts become actions, and your actions build your life. If you constantly tell yourself, I can't, you won't. If you believe you're not good enough, strong enough, smart enough, you'll prove yourself right. But the same rule applies in the other direction. If you start telling yourself, I can handle this, I will figure it out, I refuse to quit, you will train your mind to push through anything, and that mindset will change your life. So how do you reinforce control? Daily discipline. Every morning, you decide how you're going to think. Every challenge, you choose how you're going to respond. And every time negativity creeps in, you shut it down and replace it with strength. Control your thoughts and you control your life, because if you don't own your mind, someone else or something else will. Let's be honest. You already know what needs to be done. You've heard the lessons. You understand the principles. You know that discipline wins, that excuses don't build success, and that action is the only thing that changes lives. So now the question isn't if you can do it, it's will you? Because talent isn't the problem. Resources aren't the problem. Time isn't the problem. Commitment is. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many moments have you felt fired up, ready to change, only to let the feeling fade? That stops today, because motivation is worthless without action. The real test is what happens when this moment ends. What will you do when nobody is watching? Will you push through, or will you go back to comfort? You have everything you need. Strength, it's already in you. The ability, it's been there the whole time. The only thing missing is your decision to act. So walk away from this moment and prove it. Not with words, not with promises, with action. Because that's what separates the ones who dream from the ones who do. 4-0.